Howdy folks, Tom Barbley, aka Monty here in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's digging his claws in. Every evil genius needs an evil genius cat. Here's my evil genius cat. His name's Wicked. Show the lovely people your eyes, Wicked. There we go. He's actually a really good cat, irrespective of the way he looks. He really is a very nice cat. That's why he's clawing me currently. Okay, cat aside. Okay, so I wanted to record a brief video about my novel Field of Chaos here, which I'm currently writing a rule set for. Now, Field of Chaos is actually two stories put into one. They were both written when I was 17 in 1993, and the first story is a fictionalized account of my experiences writing antiviral software for the Australian government, which may sound highly exciting, aside from the fact that antiviral software back then was kind of quite a strange thing to do. I mean, I think even now, I'm sorry, I've got like, there seems to be a recurring theme that whenever I have cats in YouTube clips, I just get fur all over my face and it just irritates me if they're into a clip. Anyway, so when I wrote antiviral software in 1992, 1993, I was 16, 17 years of age, writing it for the Australian government, and it put me in contact with a lot of strange hackers, including, as it turns out, Julian Assange. That aside, Field of Chaos, the first novella, which is kind of, they're weaved together. So you'll start reading one and then the other one will start and then they kind of intertwine from then on. And that's a format that I think really works because there are elements in the first that you need to know about the second, elements in the second you probably don't need to know about in the first, but the first kind of builds into the second. So the first story is me writing antiviral software, experiencing a wide variety of hackers and kind of just dubious types, and also the interaction, rather strange interaction with certain aspects of the Australian government, all fictionalized beautifully in the first half. And the second half, which is intertwined with the first as I've described, is an account, which is a non-fictional account, of my experiences when I was 17 going to, I guess what would be called now kind of like a terrorist training camp, basically, or a training camp for well, people that want to become militarized in a kind of strange, perverse way. And ironically, also based on the first novella. So the two are intertwined quite neatly, and my thought with regards to turning all this into a role-playing game is that there's a kind of early cyberpunk element in the first, and very much a kind of, well, early 90s kind of guerrilla-esque discussion in the second. And I think it would make a very different kind of role-playing game, which is certainly my experience actually writing it. And what I'm writing a role-playing game, because obviously the book was written 17 years ago. What I'm finding writing the role-playing game is that there's very little support text, but the support texts that I'm finding are absolutely fascinating. I did an introduction on my other channel, which is my surname, Barbalet, B-A-R-B-A-L-E-T, associated with having to read some of the like additional books, basically, I'm having to read in order to do the role-playing game. But it's really fascinating stuff actually creating a role-playing game, because my background, aside from doing all this stuff, is artificial life software, which is a particular kind of computer software about certain aspects of simulating biology. My interests are more kind of intelligence and society simulations. My project is called Noble Ape. It's been around for 15 years now. So this book was written prior to Noble Ape, and it gives some insight basically into the fact that I would be developing artificial life software, or at least my direction in artificial life software. But anyway, the shout outs to this YouTube channel is that I'm really interested in getting copies of the role-playing game out to people to test, potentially review, and I don't want to charge any money associated with that. I just want it to be like a gift to the YouTube community. But I don't really get a sense of if people are like going to be into the genre or not. And particularly because Field of Chaos is a very, you know, kind of edgy, it's got various aspects to it. There are a number of ways you can actually get Field of Chaos. There's also an electronic version, which I think is about $5, maybe less than $5. And this book, as it is here, I think is only maybe $7 or $8, I don't know. On Amazon, they charge $14 for it. But the primary publisher, basically, I think it's about $7 or $8. It's in that kind of vicinity. And Lulu, the folks that put it out, constantly have like codes on the front of their site where you can get off, you know, 10, 20, Even I've seen as high as like 30% off, basically. So relatively easy purchase to pick up a copy of Field of Chaos, and it'll give you a clear indication of whether you want to actually like receive the freebie role-playing game, RPG role-playing game. The role-playing game is in a much larger format. It's a bigger book. I think the initial one, I'm trying to work with an artist here. I'm based in Las Vegas to actually get more artwork in the role-playing game. Failing that, if I can't get that, the first edition of the role-playing game will have a lot of maps in it, but it will primarily be text. And I think out of everything that's coming through this, there are probably at least 3 or 4 rule books for the role-playing game just in Field of Chaos alone. My interest initially in the role-playing game is to focus on the kind of urban guerrilla aspect of the kind of post-Field of Chaos novel. So you read Field of Chaos, and then you get a sense of kind of direction that things might go in, and that's basically where the role-playing game is headed, with elements of the novel through it. So anyway, hopefully that's been really, really confusing. My plan is actually, still with the cat here, my plan is actually to utilize this channel also to do things like character roll-up explanations and some kind of discussion associated with these things, like just various tricks and techniques, because I find a lot of the stuff that I'm seeing on YouTube, particularly with new role-playing games and these kind of things, is very, very obtuse. I mean, all my software and stuff associated with Noble Ape has been open source. This is the first kind of product in terms of actually selling something that I've done through my public career, or at least the career that's seen on YouTube and online and what have you, podcasts, what have you. So I want to utilize some of the open source methodology as well in the role-playing game. And my thinking is, because I've used software in parallel, I've like literally simulated aspects of the role-playing game in order to get it to work. My thinking is that I'll release some of that source code or all the source code as well, things like automatic character generations, non-player character generation, scenario generations, all these kind of things. I worked on an open source project called the Can't Generator that generated complex philosophical dialogues, and I think it would be relatively easy to have like a scenario generator that would be pretty good. And in particular, the stuff I'm reading currently associated with dynamic, urban environments. And also I have a program called the Mushroom Boy, which basically creates large cityscape maps very, very quickly, which I think would also be useful in a kind of role-playing game context. Anyway, so my request out to the community as they watch this is please consider picking up a copy of Field of Chaos and just get a sense of what it's all about. And also, if you are interested in review copies, please subscribe to this channel or friend me or whatever you want to do, and stay tuned, because the plan is I work more than full time, but I keep a very aggressive schedule associated with my writing. I write academic stuff as well, and my aim this year is to get out maybe 3 or 4 books, and one of them I've described to you in the role-playing game. The other one is a set of academic transcripts, and there'll probably be another book coming out as well. And this is one of 2 books that I've already put out this year. So, okay, I wrote it when I was 17, but through experiencing online publishing and all this kind of stuff, it's now out as of this year. In fact, this is the 2nd edition copy. And there will probably be a 3rd edition, and I like the larger hardcover format and various other things. Anyway, so somewhat long and rambling video about really about nothing but really the novella Field of Chaos, or the novel Field of Chaos, based on 2 novellas that I wrote in my late teens. And yeah, I don't know. Check it out. See what you think. I'm interested in hearing reviews, criticism, ideas of scenarios, these kind of things. The role-playing game is really very much kind of after the fact, with a view that you can play through some of the scenarios described in the book, but basically the book provides the lower-end bookend, so to speak, associated with the time in the universe and things like that. Anyway, Tom Bartley here in Las Vegas, Nevada, signing out.